This is the October 18th edition of Fridays in the Field. We're back near Ulysses, Nebraska. Bryce Doeschot joined with Lukas Fricke once again as we follow Lukas and his brother Brendan. The last time we talked, it was a busy time of year because Brendan was right in the thick of what was seed corn harvest. Another busy time as you and I are kind of doing the sunrise edition here on Friday.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot chillier now this time of year. We have some pretty good winds helping dry some stuff out. We had some rainstorms last week that kind of slowed bean harvest down a little bit. Brendan was able to kind of catch up with seed corn, so now everybody's back in their places. I got kicked out of the combine cab, but it's doing good.
Let's start with the wrap-up of seed corn harvest, officially done in this area for you guys.
Yep, seed corn harvest was done. I think we ended up actually being one of the last seed corn fields for us personally, and then Brendan got done last week here with his picking as well. So kind of our yields were a little bit above than what they thought. I think that's a lot to do with the good rains that we had, timely rains, as well as we didn't have a lot of the severe weather that other people. We were really blessed. We'll probably get double dose of it next year. Not hoping for that, but definitely we escaped a lot of the hail, strong winds, things like that other people were so sadly periled with. So.
Now for the seed corn harvest, you guys own the harvester, the picker. Do you contract with the grower or with the companies?
Brendan contracts with the company to go out and custom pick it.
So now we're turning to more the commercial side of corn and soybeans. So how do you prioritize? Is it corn first, then soybeans, going back and forth? What do you all do?
So we're kind of looking for moisture. We store a lot of our own grain, so trying to look at those optimum moistures for long-term storage. For us, since we're feeding everything and doing it that way, that's where we kind of look for those good moistures. So usually around that time, beans are always kind of first for us in this area. I know it's different for other people, but for us it was those ability, and then we'll kind of hit the corn here. I actually heard in the area that a guy was picking 17 moisture corn yesterday, so stuff's starting to dry down. I think a lot of people were nervous about it, especially with fungicide applications and those kind of things, really holding on to that water, besides it being late planted. So I think a lot of these late season frosts, not late season, but frosts that we've had have really helped dry out the crop quite a bit and get things kind of moving along.
In terms of yield for the corn and soybeans you've seen thus far, you talked about the seed corn, but maybe compared to a 5-year average, what you typically see, how are you seeing things this year?
I think we're within average. I mean, for everything that was thrown at us, especially with the deluge of water that we've been having. I mean, we've had a lot of water here, and I think a lot of other people had the same exact problem. Really, it handled it pretty darn well for what we had. I don't think we're going to be crazy yields. I don't think we're going to be crazy low either. I think we're going to kind of be mediocre, simply because we didn't have that severe weather, but we did have timely rainfalls.
You mentioned the rainfall. Is that leading to any issues with moisture being in the fields?
Yeah, so last week we did have quite a bit of rain, a lot more than the quarter inch that was forecasted, I should say. So I think we ended up having almost 2.5 inches around, or at least where we were combining. So a little bit concerned again about the popping of the pods and things like that. Thank goodness we really didn't have any of that. Stuff's a little bit mucky out there, but for the most part it's pretty dry and we're able to get over things pretty well.
We'll hit pause on the discussion about the row crops and maybe talk a little bit about the other important aspect of your operation, the livestock. As you and I talk, I mentioned kind of a sunrise edition, trying to catch you before the work gets busy today. You're trying to feed the livestock, though, before you get out in the field today.
Yep. Like always, livestock is kind of a continual cycle. Never can really get too far away from it, but that's not a bad thing whatsoever.
Very good. Well, we appreciate the information. Lukas Fricke joining us here on this week's edition of Big Iron Realty's Fridays in the Field.
As a farmer, you are self-reliant. But when it comes to selling your farmland, it's hard to go at it alone. You need a real estate company you can lean on to guide you through the complex issues. Trust Big Iron Realty. We are the experts in selling land, but more importantly, we do things the right way. Our family values, paired with today's technologies, provide you with the selling experience you deserve. Big Iron Realty.